United Nations, as we all know, was established in 1945, which happens to be the year of my birth. Yes, and so that's a long time ago, and it was after the devastation of the Second World War. So they came together, and it was premised really on a peaceful world. And then they later, in 2015, and I was still in office then as Prime Minister, they came up with the Sustainable Development Goals, and there are 17 of them. And for me, they act as a kind of a framework or a template for countries, for nations, even regions and individuals to craft their national objectives, their regional objectives, even individual objectives. The ones that, I'll just take two examples that really speak to my heart. Yes, and the first one is actually goal number one. It talks about a reduction, poverty reduction. As I understand what it means, but I don't quite like reduction. We shouldn't reduce poverty. We must eliminate poverty. Yes, because poverty is not only about, lack of access to to income, lack of access to opportunities. It's really poverty. It limits one's potential to develop and to contribute to growth within oneself, within the family, and the other people generally. So poverty is a very limiting phenomenon, and that denies the individual the God-given talents, to blossom. So I agree 100% that we must eliminate poverty, not reduce it. Yes, that's right. Yes, altogether.
Okay.
Yes, so that then everybody has access to opportunities and to a fulfilled, life, that they can use their God-given talents to improve life, not only for themselves, but for others as well. So that, for me, that's very important. And for me, maybe because of my background, I found that nothing, so far, in my experience, nothing improves or makes better one's life. There's nothing better than education. Yes. Maybe it is because of what education did to me personally, because it really opened doors for me. So I see education as the best instrument to improve one's life. And when I was in government, my first appointment in government in 1993 was as Minister of Education and Training. And we devoted ourselves to opening doors for every boy, every girl in Lesotho. So we made, for instance, primary education free and compulsory. Yes. We wanted every child, every boy, every girl born in Lesotho to have access to education.
It's very important.
Before, you know, there were school fees, you know, that parents had to pay for the child to go to school, and many parents didn't have the wherewithal to pay school fees. So we abolished school fees because it was preventing, you know, children from accessing education. Yes, yes. And so we abolished it, and that allowed all the children to go to school. Secondly, and that was very important in our policy, we made sure that we provided free school feeding.
School feeding?
Yes.
Food?
Food. So that, because, you know, because of poverty, some children from the village would go to school without having had breakfast or anything to eat in the morning. So we wanted to make sure that when they get to school, at least they can have one balanced, nutritious meal. Yes.
It's very important for
Absolutely,
the
for
kids,
the
right?
kids, for the health of the kids. Because otherwise, because of poverty and poor nutrition, they don't grow, you know, yes,
Healthy,
yes,
right?
healthy, yes, they remain stunted, and so we therefore provided school feeding scheme, and that brought many children to school because they knew that they would have at least a good meal at school.